Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited for this conversation with some absolutely incredible founders and CEOs. And we're going to dive into NFTs in neuroscience, DNA, and biotech. And I think that this conversation can be expounded to other industries as well. So even if that's not your background, I'd really encourage you to listen to all of the amazing insights that these individuals have to say. I'm Erin Magennis. I'm a serial entrepreneur with a background in neuroscience, and I've had this wonderful opportunity to combine that experience with Web3 to explore what the frontiers of this space has to offer. Would love to dive into each of you as well.
Hi, I'm Amit Roy. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Neuroscience. We use computation to design small molecule drugs for difficult targets. Some of our latest focus has been on targets implicated in immuno-oncology, and we have created small molecule drugs for them. We have created small molecules for them, and we're about to go to the laboratory with those molecules. And my co-founders and I started this company about 2 years ago, and we really started it because we saw that there were a lot of problems with the traditional methods of drug discovery, and we also saw that in the research literature, some of the real elements of computational drug design were missing some critical components that we consider to be very important steps in the process of designing drugs, specifically to use computation to design molecules with conflicting objectives. So we launched the company about 2 years ago, and we've had a lot of interest in what we do. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about how we can use NFTs in this company very soon.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Daniel Uribe. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Genobank.io. And in 2017, my son was diagnosed with a rare disease using a genetic test that I have here. And my background is in cybersecurity, so I was fascinated into the world of genomics. And I realized that, or I learned that we need biosamples, human biosamples, lots of them, in order to save lives and contribute to scientists like Amit to have more and more information so they can design and accelerate new discoveries. So Genobank is about having a layer of governance over human biosamples by giving the patient the access and control using a wallet. So this is a privacy-preserving way to do it. And I am very honored to be here today with you. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm John Rowley. I'm the founder and chief product officer at a company in Maryland called Rooster Bio. I founded it 10 years ago, and we are a stem cell manufacturing supply company. We provide cellular raw materials. These are living cells to therapeutic developers and medical device developers that are trying to incorporate these living stem cells into next generation therapeutic products. And then, I'm also part of the crypto class of 2021, where I kind of fell down the blockchain rabbit hole and have been trying to figure out how to incorporate blockchain technology, even in the smallest aspects, into our business. And just got off the ground this year with a small NFT project focused on the branding and the community building aspects, which I can go into a little bit more. So really excited to be here today. I love this rug, and really excited to be on a panel with these really amazing individuals that I got to know yesterday.
So at first glance, it may not seem like NFTs, Web3, blockchain particularly fits in what each of your companies are trying to solve. How are you incorporating NFTs or Web3 into your strategy or your company's operations?
That's a great question. Actually, we got started quite by accident. a friend of mine, Razakan, he is the founder of a different company, and it's called B Group, and it's a platform that launches DAOs. And he's been involved in this space much more than me. But he's always known about NORCAM. So one day I was telling him about the specific technical attributes of NORCAM, and in particular, its ability to computationally pursue multiple drug targets simultaneously. And he thought that it could be possible to interest crypto investors, people who might be interested in getting NFTs of specific molecules, for example, and they could then actually pursue specific projects for specific biological targets, and then own, through an SPV usually, and then own the molecules through NFTs. And that became a way for us to kind of fund individual drug projects. And in fact, interestingly, that's how we got started, and that's how we got started with our first lab experiments from the Novus group. And so we were I was very surprised. I didn't think that there would be an interest on the part of crypto investors in an industry, in a company like NORCAM, which is very kind of very mathematical and very scientific in a very different way, not directly related to traditional Web3. So I was very pleasantly surprised, and you must have heard that recently Molecule AI, I believe, raised a lot of money as well. So it's not just, NORCAM is not the only company trying to do this, and there is a growing interest in this particular kind of funding of specific drug targets and specific molecules through NFTs. So yes, it's been a very pleasant surprise for me.
Oh, thank you very much. So this is very similar to how we use the Web3 technology. So this is the first kit, Web3 kit, let's say, for DNA extraction or collection, right? So this is a regular saliva kit from our friends of DNA Genotech, right? It has a unique serial number from the manufacturer. This is one of the prerequisites, right? But the true innovation here, we think, is that the donor or the customer scans this QR code. This is a pre-NFT, right? It already contains the DID of the laboratory. So when user scans this, it already knows, the application already knows who is going to use the sample. So when the donor scans this QR code, it creates a new wallet. So here's the 12 words. And we also have a cryptographic tangent card. This is an NFC, so you can use either of them to create an identity. And the cool thing about this is that every single card says, we respect your privacy and we don't know who you are, because literally this is an anonymous wallet or a pseudo-anonymous wallet. And the cool thing is that the bio-NFT, or as we call our NFTs, is a permission token. So we're being awarded by the British Blockchain Association as the best blockchain application in life sciences in 2020, because this solution is based on privacy laws, specifically in Article 7 of the GDPR. We're very friends with a lot of privacy lawyers, because this is the world's first consent NFT for human biosamples that also unlocks the value, the economical value of the sample, and it allows to delegate also and trace the permissions in secondary use cases. So this is how we use the technology, and obviously the donor is always in control because they can revoke the consent, and then the researcher or the custodian of the sample and the data has specific days to comply with the right to be forgotten of the donor. So this is a data management system, or a decentralized data management system for human biosamples. And the main idea is to cut off the data brokers in the middle. We want to engage with researchers, right? and directly peer-to-peer with all the security, confidentiality, and traceability as patients, and just avoid people who will just abuse of our data. That's how we use it.
These guys are really smart. So we're pretty interesting, right? So we have a 10-year-old company, established company. We're about 50 people. We're down in Maryland. And we got hundreds of customers, and people are, therapeutic developers are utilizing our cellular raw materials, our manufacturing scale-up methods to very rapidly develop these regenerative medicine products to treat diseases, taking them into clinical trials. And we have these GMP materials that are helping them very quickly get up and running with this technology. And we can't really pivot our business model to incorporate the blockchain. As the founder, I really wanted to at least get us touching the technology in some way. And again, we went through the marketing and branding and community building. And so earlier this year, we started planning this last year. We launched an NFT. Actually, my picture up there is part of it. That rooster is our branded rooster that we use as kind of the logo of the company. And we wanted to create a free NFT for this regenerative medicine community. And the way I look at it is we're kind of a non-crypto native company that launched an NFT into a non-crypto native industry. And there's a lot of challenges on all parts. We don't have any developers in-house. We at least have a graphic artist in marketing that we are able to do the artwork. We cobbled together just a group of 333 NFTs with the plans of distributing them via our channel to where our customers live, which is mostly on LinkedIn. And so I think on the positive side, we've onboarded about 150 people into crypto that weren't there before. But on the long list of challenges, almost no one already had a wallet, right? We had to go out, choose a blockchain. We crafted minted on the Solana blockchain because of the cost and the ease of some of the off-the-shelf smart contracts. Again, we couldn't really be doing any kind of custom smart contracts, so we were trying to use off-the-shelf as much as we could. We had to manually mint these NFTs one at a time with probably only a 20% success rate every time, and so that took tens and tens of hours. And then again, none of our audience had crypto wallets. I had to personally walk people through the process of getting a wallet, finding out the address, getting that address to me, and then I could send it. And even once we sent these NFTs, people didn't know where to find them. And then on top of that, as we're trying to build the community that we're calling Club Regen Med, there's no one place that they all aggregate, right? And so we are, except for LinkedIn. And so we are trying to use LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn is not a fit for purpose, social network at all, and they barely know about NFTs. I've been trying to email their product managers to become a little bit more NFT friendly in the LinkedIn groups, and it is a uphill battle. So, one of the biggest things is the off-the-shelf tools definitely have to get better, and people need to be able to own and interact with NFTs. That again, we're using for membership tokens into this Club Regen Med in a much simpler format. The good news is, being at this conference, those tools are coming, and really excited for where we're coming, and hopefully we're because of our early entrance into this, we are the first one that I've seen in this space. We'll be able to leverage the technology as it does become available.
So you each covered a bit on how NFTs and Web3 can help drive specific behavior, whether it's within a specific group, an individual, or a general community, broader population, and how that all has to happen for each of your companies within the specific objective that, whether it's kind of drug and molecule discovery or investigation into one's own DNA. How does your approach to incorporating Web3 and NFTs into biotech change, or I guess what has your approach been based on your different stage in your company, whether you've been established or you're brand new and kind of incorporating it in?
Yeah, we are a fairly new company. We all have, well, actually, so two of our co-founders have very strong computational backgrounds. So, and we are quite familiar with the underlying ideas, the computational ideas that underlie blockchain technology and NFTs. Our main interest was to use Web 3.0 as a fundraising mechanism. So that was how we initially got interested, because it was possible for people who might not otherwise have invested in biotechnology in a pharmaceutical drug design company to come in and invest through an SPV and have a much earlier exit than possible. Because if you know anything about the drug design industry, a drug can take, in the traditional method, can take up to a decade to actually come to market, from the initial time that you actually start your early drug discovery program, and then you go through preclinical study, then you go through clinical trials, and then you have to get FDA approval, etc. It takes a very, very long time. So biotech investors traditionally do not see exits for a very long time. But here, there is the very real possibility of investing in a specific program, and we don't have much time to get into how these programs work or how the biotechnology industry in general works, but it is possible to sell a very promising program to a much bigger company, to, let's say, a Pfizer or a Novartis, and for those investors to have a much earlier exit than possible. So that's how the whole proposition becomes very attractive to them. And that's the aspect that we were most interested in leveraging and investigating. And we're very fortunate to have some people who were connected to the industry and who were able to kind of put us in touch with people who would be very interested in us. In fact, later today, I'm talking to somebody who's a prospective investor in us as well. So.
Amazing. Good luck.
Yes. So, Eric, may I have my slide, please, if so kind? So thank you very much. So we just recently graduated from Stacks Accelerator, because the next step after people is able to control their biosamples and derived data, the next thing is obviously to create the exchange, right? So we are launching GenoMarket in a few months. So this is the project that we are working right now. And you can see in the diagram a little bit of the governance mechanism surrounding this. So most of people would say, hey, that's maybe the new Web 5 kind of fashion. But Web 5 has a disadvantage for this model in particular, because you cannot incentivize people to participate. Web 5 is obviously based on credentials. It solves the access thing, but it doesn't solve the fact that you can literally sponsor these kids using stable coins, or in this case, we graduated because we're planning to use Miami coins. As you know, this is part of the city coins. Now there are more like I believe 5 cities that will be issuing or controlling the city coins. So this is for also incentivize public health initiatives. And this is what we are working, and we are very, very excited to be partnering with Stacks. And hopefully Web3 will help us to have at least 10 times more biosamples or consented biosamples in the hands of researchers. By the way, this market or this exchange will be exclusively for researchers, no data brokers, of course. Thank you.
So, some of my goals for trying to incorporate this is was really to warm my company and my industry up to blockchain technology and NFTs. And so I went from almost no one within my company, knowing really about this technology. They've heard of blockchain, don't really know where it fits in. Now everybody's very familiar with NFTs and at least have an understanding of where blockchain could fit in. But it's nothing that a 50-person company is going to heavily invest in. But now I'm talking with Daniel here, who tracks biospecimens, and that's really, really important in GMP manufacturing. And it's not just of the specimens, but also of the data that is generated. This chain of custody is really, really important. That the quality control data and the donor data all tracks back to exactly the therapeutic dose of cells that gets manufactured at some point. And so, if I'm able to collaborate with Daniel, we're talking about the different places that it could work in regenerative medicine. Then I think that my company today is a lot more in a mindset to be able to look into this and test it out and research it and possibly implement it than we were a year ago. And so that's I really believe that all new technologies have lots of stages and steps for implementation. I've been in stem cell manufacturing for 20 years, and I still it's an early field, right? And so this whole GM, right? That where in crypto you're constantly saying that just to really remind yourself that we are really, really early. That's been my field for, again, the last 20, 30 years since I started graduate school. And I'm really looking forward to the future of blockchain. Where all the killer apps are going to be in biotech, I don't know, but I think we've heard a couple today. And I really hope to be working on this for the next 30 years.
Amazing. So as we have just a couple moments left, I would love to hear from each of you what you're most excited about moving forward, or from the broader scientific community as a whole, and how they can incorporate Web3 in.
Sure, yeah. There probably isn't enough time to talk about all the things I'm excited about, but I'll actually mention also Daniel's company here, because Daniel, you said that you are specifically making your data available to researchers, and we at NORCAM, especially since our technology is capable of incorporating individualized genetic information to design the drugs, that's something we would be very interested in actually collaborating on. So I'm very excited about the potential collaboration with both Daniel and also John, and we'll see where we can do some great things. Maybe this time next year we'll have some very cool success stories to tell you. We'll see.
No, thank you very much. And I believe this is the greatest thing about blockchain and Web3. I mean, it helps us connect the same kind of vision and missions. So I just wanted to tell you about that, that obviously our project is about to increase at least 10 times more the available biosamples, but permission directly by the donors, right? And this is a direct connection for researchers. And by the way, I mean, this project, Genobank, helped me to know William Entriken. Maybe you might know him, but he is the lead author of the ERC 721. So just by connecting to him, we created the new standard called the Bio NFTs, or the variant of the ERC 721. So I am very grateful for this project to connect with this type of geniuses or minds. And I believe this is what I am most excited about, because it's the standards makes you connect easier with persons in different verticals. And I believe this is why the companies are so worried, because yeah, we are connecting and accelerating many things.
And for me, I have a really strong interest in the longevity field, right? How to cure death, kind of thing. And so I'm sure I will be starting up a company at some point in the future. Obviously, I'm very committed to Rooster Bio. But as I get into this, there's a really strong part of the crypto industry called decentralized science. This is something that Erin is really involved in. And part of that is the fundraising, and so I think which is what Amit is doing, and so I'm sure I will be calling up Amit in a couple of years, hey, as we try to turn NFTs into securities and use them for fundraising and getting companies off the ground. And I know that there's DAOs specifically around longevity, the Vita DAO out there, and there's BioDAO, and that you'll be leveraging what these other pieces of the field are putting together, in my next entrepreneurial endeavors. And so I think we're still really early. We haven't figured everything out. I'm very comfortable with that. Not a lot of people are, but I can't tell you how excited I am just to riding the coattails as these different tools are put together to leverage again this longevity and entrepreneurial path that I plan on taking over the next 30 to 70 years, I guess.
Absolutely. I similarly share all of your same excitement. The movement within the biological, biotech, and DeSci space is honestly so inspiring, and just following all of the different DAOs, the different startups, the different people moving this space forward, there's so much opportunity to get involved. So if you're interested from a fundraising, an IP, of research, a connectivity, a publication side of this, any side of this, I think I can speak on behalf of the broader community saying we'd love to invite you in. And all of us are on Twitter, so we'd love to connect with you. We'll be down in the hallway afterwards as well. And thank you for joining us in this conversation. And we hope you're as excited about the future of Web3 within improving human health, scientific discovery as we are. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.